Hi, and welcome to Tony's Cool Tools. I really appreciate you stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to show you a couple of tools I came across. And a spoiler alert, if you stick around to the end, I will have a surprise. Recently, I stopped by my local steel dealer, and while I was drooling over the new saws that they had in, I happened to come across a log tong here that I had never seen there. They had just gotten it in. And many of you know I'm a sucker for back-saving tools, and I've made a number of videos on the subject, and I'll have those listed in the info section below. So the thing that caught my eye immediately was the handle design here, and I'll show you that a little bit later when I demo the unit. And when I picked up the tongs, the handle felt very comfortable. And this tong is very similar to the function and design of the other tongs that I have, like this Baco. And the other thing I noticed was that the label here stated that it had a 12-inch wide mouth opening, which none of my other standard log tongs like this had. So here are my thoughts on this log tong here. It is distributed by the Forester company, and it is manufactured in China. So as I mentioned previously, the one thing that caught my eye was the fact that the label said that this opens up to 12 inches. So I went home and I found something kind of strange. When I looked at this log tong and I looked at this log tong, that seems a little bit different. This is an 11-inch log tong, the Bacos. So I went on their web page, the Forester web page, and they said that this was 14 inches, not 12 inches. So I took a measurement here from tip to tip and found out that it's 15 inches. That was a pretty nice surprise. The other nice thing that I found was that they use bolts and lock nuts as opposed to rivets. So if I wanted to tighten this up from being too loose like this, I can do it on this one. This one's a little harder. Yes, you can use a punch here and hit this and it should tighten it up, but you have very little control, whereas this one here, with a wrench, you can tighten it up easily. And the other thing is, of many of the tongs that I've tried, these are extremely sharp. You don't need to sharpen them up any more than they are now. They'll dig right in, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But the nice thing about this tong is the handle here. As you can see, it's cupped here and here, so when you're holding it, and by the way, it's extremely comfortable, and it feels robust in the handle here. Very heavy duty. And so your hand won't slip forward or backwards once you have this tool. And this little hook, I found it real convenient to just slip it in your back pocket of your jeans or in the back, and it'll just hang there for a while. It's not going to stay there, but if you just need to grab something and have your hands free, that little hook works out real good. And the thing I really love about this Forester tong is the fact that I only paid $30 for this. Now online I see them between $30 and $40, but that's a far cry from this Baco, which is about $75 or $80 now. So it's a good value if somebody's just starting out or wants to get a second tong. So let me show you how well these Forester tongs work. As I said, it has a super comfortable handle, and these tips are extremely sharp. So whether I pick it up by the girth or by the end, it doesn't matter. They do work really well, like this. After I've bucked up my logs here, I just put them in my material bucket, and whether I do it on the end or the girth here, like most tongs are supposed to be, it works really good. And remember I said be careful of what you wish for? Though this is 15 inches, if I do a log that's 15 or 16 inches, it's going to be extremely heavy, so you have to consider that as well. The 11-inch will only do a smaller log, whereas this one here, I can put it on the girth and lift it up, which is kind of heavy. Or the advantage here now is I can take this and load a horizontal splitter reasonably easily. Or I can do it on the end if I chose to, that feels a little bit better because I'm not going all the way down and then just load my material bucket. So let's move on to the next product I want to show you. And as you can imagine, I get emails all the time to review products. Most of them are not relevant to my channel, like coffee makers or electric door openers or something like that. However, there are products that are interesting, and I'm going to show you one today. So many of you who follow my channel know that I used to work for the Fiskar Corporation, and I love axes, any kind of axe. So when the THRW Club contacted me to review one of their axes, I was all over it. And when they told me it was a bearded axe, that was even more interesting. And they call it a camping axe. So let me show you what I got from the THRW Club. This is what it looks like when you get it. A nice bearded axe with a rubber sleeve here, protective sleeve. You get a leather sheath with it. It looks extremely quality, but I'll tell you a little bit about this, the problems that I had. You get a lanyard for the bottom of the axe to put it around your hand. They send you 2 additional circle wedges. I assume that they think you're gonna break the handle at some point, so that's kind of nice to have. And lastly, a 2-sided sharpening puck, coarse and fine. Let me give you some details on the axe. It's made out of 1055 carbon steel, and as we know, carbon steel is super easy to sharpen. The beard from tip to tip here is just under 5 inches, and the overall length on this is 9 1/4 inches. Now the weight on this is over 2 pounds. So it's a camping axe, but I wouldn't call it a backpacking axe. That's the one thing. And it is definitely front heavy here. And the other thing that impressed me was the price. It's $32. I don't think you're gonna find a bearded axe out there much cheaper than that. So as I mentioned previously, the THRW Club classifies this as a camping axe. And they say that it's good for cutting, splitting, carving, and gardening. And I could see that easily. So as far as chopping, no issues there. And splitting, I'd probably use straight grain, but if nothing else, no problem there either. So that it works. I'm not a carver. However, when you put your fingers in like this, I could see where you could really work stuff easily with this. I'll have to try that at some point and get back to you on it. Oh, and there's one thing I wanted to mention, and that was the leather sheath that it comes with. It is a very nice sheath, very well made. The only problem that I had is that the axe didn't fit, or should I say I couldn't close the snap on here. I finally had to work it in real hard. I don't know if I'm supposed to soak this leather or what, but when I put it in, it won't snap here. That's one of the things that I did find out about it. But after about 10 or 15 minutes of working on this and pounding the back end of it, I did get it to snap, and I'll probably leave it that way for a week or a month and see if it gets any better. But that's the only problem that I had with this. Now I will say, the quality of this bearded axe is not the same as my Gransford's Brooks. However, the price is not the same either. $150 or $160 compared to $32. I think this is a pretty good quality hatchet or axe, camp axe if you want to call it that you could toss in the back of your truck and, you know, beat the heck out of it. One other thing that I forgot to mention is that it does have a flat face here, so it is good for pounding tent stakes or nails or something like that, anything that you have to break, maybe a walnut or so. But I think it's a pretty decent tool. So the other thing the THRW Club is known for is throwing hatchets or tomahawks as well as throwing knives. So if you've stuck around this long, I told you I'd have a surprise for you. And that is the folks at THRW Club are donating one of these for a drawing for one of my viewers. There's only 2 requirements as usual, and that is first, you have to be a subscriber to my channel, and second, anywhere in your comment, just write the 4 letters, THRW. That's it. And And I'll be picking the winner on Wednesday, May 8th at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I'll post the winner's name in the comments section. And I'll have information on both these tools in the info section below. So hopefully you found this video on the Forester Log Tong and the THRW-X interesting. And if so, please like, share, and subscribe, and give me a thumbs up as well. And remember, pass it forward. Make the world a better place. And don't be a tool. Watch Tony's Cool Tools. Until I see you next time, have a great one.